After our meeting, we acknowledge, we are on the traditional territory of Sioux First Nation in Treaty 3, and as many people in communities that we serve in Sioux Lookout, traditionally known as Wanina Wangang, meaning Bay of Sandy Beaches, come from treaties 5 and 9 of the Anishinaabe Nation.
The agenda. I thought. Thank you. Are there any changes before we approve the agenda?
I think that there's one, we want to add the line of clause will go in council, right?
Yeah.
For approval.
It was,
Under items for discussion?
yeah,
Yeah.
we voted on it. We're using it, so.
All right, is that, who's gonna talk on that, Reese, or, yeah, okay. Okay.
Meeting with Tom.
Yeah.
And about meeting with names.
Yeah.
6. And then that'll be you, right? Lead the discussion, okay. That's item number 6 under items for discussion. Anything else? All right, motion to approve the agenda as amended. Need a first? Joan, seconder, Reese. Awesome. Okay, number 4, declarations of pecuniary interest.
Alan.
None, right? Awesome. We're just moving right along. All right, so now we're at the meeting minutes. If everyone had time to look them over to make sure everything was captured. Any errors? Good. All right, motion to accept the minutes from the September 17th meeting. First, mover. Joan, seconder. Oh, Naomi with the fork. Thank you.
Because I wasn't here last meeting.
Oh, he wasn't there.
Or I wouldn't.
Being funny.
With the fork.
With the fork.
Option.
Seconder, we need a seconder, okay? Okay, we don't have any business arising. There's nothing
Interesting.
there. Awesome. We don't have delegations. We don't have any delegations. So we're at number 8 items for discussion. So we'll go to number 1, the Standy Working Group check-in.
Ooh, can I just say something before we do this? Thank you. We had it up during Truth and Reconciliation, those events. It sat in our office, like the keto one. It looks so nice. So good job.
Yeah, you guys decided.
Yeah.
It looks spectacular.
We told Brian spectacular jokes.
Yes. Yeah. But they all, like, it was really
They all look
emotional
so
to
good.
see them all together, because there ended up being 18 of them.
Hey.
And I got them all delivered by, because we got them on, was it Wednesday?
Mhm.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
by the next Monday I had them.
Mhm.
So it worked out really well, and everyone is displaying them, everyone is happy with them. And I wish I had put a few more, because we ended up, one of them, it was for the Friendship Center for Youth, it's just one call. So that we have a bunch of blank space. So Kane had donated us a graphic from, who was the graphic?
Storm.
Storm Edge, yeah. So it's beautiful. So if I
Nice.
had seen the other ones, I would have incorporated it more through, but we didn't know, right?
Yeah.
So if we do more of them, we'll use that.
Oh,
It's
awesome.
very beautiful, like, it's just really makes it stand out. So yeah, everyone was happy with them. Everyone really liked it. They were very well received. So it was a really good project.
Mhm.
Went really well.
It goes to
Just-
show that we can do it in the future again, right?
Yeah.
There are updates or things like,
Yeah.
it was nice to see them.
Well, the other thing that I think is happening, because you guys did it at Slip and they're doing it at Minot, organizations now are taking time to review where they're at. since
Which
they
is
have-
good, right?
Which is good.
It's very helpful.
Yeah, it's very helpful. So then, and what role will they play going forward? So, I mean, those are the conversations, the next step that we need to.
Yeah.
Oh, good job. Good job.
Yeah.
So what do you have to?
Anything to add?
Well, the other thing is, we really have to say about cat spot, like we couldn't do.
Right?
Because he knew every single person. He had all their contacts. Like,
Nice.
Way to go,
so
James.
he had a question, he just went directly to them. He had all the locals. When we changed the date, remember, he just said, okay, we'll just go with that. He killed himself to get it done. And he came in with a budget.
Yeah.
So it was just like, the experience working with him was just epic, amazing. So amazing.
May I ask, do we have like drafts of all of theirs, just to keep in an archive for
He would
ourselves?
have them.
Yeah, well, so I have hours for a slip now, but yeah, I think Jamie.
We could ask him for the file.
I think that would be
Yeah.
good, because then that gives us an idea of like
Yeah.
ownership, what they've done in the past, and again, it's like a nice little
Yeah.
opportunity to work
Well,
with
if we
the.
ever have to do a presentation, right? we
Exactly,
just
who
kind
can
of-
we pull out to do that? I agree.
Nice.
And I think we did James a favor because apparently he had an awful lot of that.
Yes,
Yes. Yeah, or she was the order the whole lot.
Yes, so it's so substantial. And it's amazing that like he assembles them there, because everything, like I don't think people realize that, like in the past, we always had to send outside the community to get something like that. They're being great right in our community.
Yeah.
He can do everything from start to finish. He can do the graphics all the way to the assembly. So it was wonderful.
And remind me, because I know the United Church said it would pay.
The town is gonna bill you.
Yeah.
So the town paid, cat spot,
Okay.
and then they're gonna bill each individual.
Okay, so who will be billing?
To the person who contact you gave us. So I, was it you? I think it was, I'll look and
Yeah,
see.
because you don't email to the church, because the church email has been done for months,
Yeah, okay.
so. we
I'll
don't-
double check.
Yeah, anyway, yeah, send it to me.
Okay.
My new email.
Okay. Yes.
Awesome. All right, number 2, upcoming events. Budget due November 1st. I'm not sure.
So does that mean, Michelle, does that mean we have to allocate our $2,500? for it?
Yes, so I just want to touch base quickly. Megan just told me that it was brought forward, I guess, the monies, if there's any monies left over from this budget, it cannot go forward.
Okay, I didn't think it.
Yeah, they
That's what she
said.
said.
So to use it and then like, don't use it if you don't need it, but use it if it's gonna be, well spent, basically.
Because we have spent, like the $2,500 we spent. Did we give $1,500 to the band, to the high school?
List.
500 to the high school, 900 for the banners, 300 for the lunch.
Yeah,
So that is what, $1,700. So we have $800 left.
yeah.
No, that's, 400.
Oh, by $400. So it's 600, so it's $600.
And we need that before November.
Yes,
We have 2 weeks to spend $700 or $600.
Megan also stated if you'd like to request like a larger budget for next year, to put it in writing and include a rationale to why you would like more money,
Yeah.
that can get it.
Well, our next project is gonna be like Brent wanted to do the guidelines for creating an event. Now, do you think we could have that done and ready, and printed before the end of December?
Or maybe, sorry, another will be those yard signs.
The yard signs,
Yeah, if I had some of my, yeah.
Or the other,
Yes.
the other things we could do half the yard signs. And the other idea that we were throwing around was we could do those signs that we talked about with the name of the traditional name for Sioux Lookout. We could say, welcome to Sioux Lookout, and then put the traditional name below it and even put the pronunciation.
Like a billboard?
No, like we talked about doing them at the airport where they would just be, like, the way, like on lawyers' offices, they put things on doors with clear, and just the letters go on. So we could do that at the airport. We could make a lot of them. We could do exactly the same thing we did with the banners. We could create the little sign that would go on glass somewhere in your business. It could go on your front door, welcome to Sioux Lookout, with the traditional name, and we could see how many businesses want it.
Okay.
If we could do them at a low cost.
Yeah.
Like, I can't see them being more than, like, how much were your those signs?
Those signs were, I think the yard signs were 15 each.
Each, yeah, so that's what I'm sort of thinking, these would be $20, so if we got 10.
I don't think it would be maybe $20.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like a laminated.
Yeah, so we could take half of the $600 and do the signs, and then the other $300 and do that sign, ready to go on businesses.
So 300 be from the yard signs.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we just email James and be like, how many yards for a maximum of
Yeah,
300?
total with taxes and everything.
And then be 300. Do something quick on count.
Yeah.
Just like, welcome to Sioux Lookout, yeah, with the name.
With the traditional name.
Yeah.
Okay, so. Often soon go. You want it in the slabs, Roman orthography and pronunciation.
Yes, yes. Yeah,
Yeah, the Chamber of Commerce did that in Thunder Bay years ago where they had a satisfied Vulcan thing.
Yeah, yeah.
So this is good. Vulcan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's see, do we have like a welcome to Sioux Lookout already done? I know we have.
I think we should design our own, like, we've been doing good at designing our own.
Yeah.
So we know if we set up a working committee, then
Yeah.
we design our own and work with James.
Wondering if we should consult with, they've done a lot of translation work. He works at Wendigo. Is it Charles? Yeah. Just for, just because one little tiny.
Yeah.
You just, just make sure we have.
Yes, yeah,
Well,
Yeah.
there is a syllabus where the brand standards for Sioux Lookout.
which they ran through the.
But
Yeah.
it's when in
Yeah.
slides. Yeah, it's Ojibwe, so Charles would do Ojibwe.
Because last souls are the old Ojibwe speaking. Should we just go, you know what I mean? Like, should we go Ojibwe or?
I think, personally, I think the Slavic should be Ojibwe. And then the Roman orthography is
What were the
Ojibwe.
original ones? Remember the sign was up at the airport? And it was also on the daycare center as well.
Yeah,
So what is the Slavics and what they
We don't know because we lost those guys, we don't.
Well, I have
Yeah.
photographs
Oh,
of
yeah.
them.
so we can.
Yeah.
When we're doing the work, we can double check it,
So do we want
run
to,
it by a translator.
yeah, so do you want to set up a working committee and then you guys can just come up with something and then run it by Charles and a couple other people? Just
To make sure.
Yeah,
that-
just to make sure that people are comfortable with it, and then we'll try to get them printed. I think we could do that like in 2-3 weeks.
Yeah. Definitely, because we need to buy at the end of December.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you, Brent, do you want to?
Yeah,
take them on?
that's more doable than the.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
Now, so the process for that, just so we get back to the process, when we get that, do we have to vote on it? Like, so if we're gonna spend it, I just want to make sure we're.
we have to make a motion to send it, yes, right? Yeah,
Get the quotes first and then,
why do we think we need to get the quotes? I think if we say we will spend up to $300. And then
Just
that
like
will
that.
determine how many we'll get, like if it could cost $50, we're getting 6. If it costs $20,
Yeah,
we're getting more. And then what we'll do is once we get them, then we'll work with partners to put them.
It just says they need the budget.
Yeah.
It's budget due.
like for the yard signs, 300 divided by 15, so 20 yards.
Yeah.
We can hand them, or put them up.
Yeah, all.
And just,
Living taxes?
Yeah.
there was also some money taken from the Truth Reconciliation Fund as well, $348. It was called Volatile ad. It was for Truth and Reconciliation. CAO. Oh.
They approved it and didn't talk to us? Interesting.
Okay, well, that takes out the whole.
Yeah,
Oh, so that means we have to.
So I just wanted to bring that forward.
I have no idea.
Maybe gave this to her, she said she didn't have any idea it was given to her and so.
is there an opportunity to just make a note that in the future, they send out an email at least?
Yeah.
Probably just
'Cause that's-
request an actual like hard date on what we've spent first,
Mhm, mhm.
right? Just get that.
That's true, and I'll just work on the design, like we'll work on the.
Yeah, if you could work on the design and get it all ready,
Yeah.
and then,
Cause the CAO is not a part of our terms of reference, sorry.
yeah.
And even we have only $200, that's still.
Yeah. Yeah. But it's so limited.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Okay, so it's gonna request.
we would like our budget
Up to date budget.
$100 next year. If you want to.
$300 for next year.
But if you could spend it on it.
No, Brian's spending on it.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're spending money.
At
Well,
least
that-
Letting us know.
That might be a good request to put in for next year is ads for Truth Reconciliation Week, right? We'll add all of it.
Mhm.
So we have any kind of all of it. So,
How big was the ad?
It looks
Like half a page, eh?
Or I don't know if that's the actual size.
it's
Based on the layout, eh?
Yeah.
Third,
Yeah.
maybe less than a third. Yeah, maybe.
Cause is there in the municipality like advertising costs or? Which is fine.
I was just told that it emailed up the Truth and Reconciliation Fund. I'm sorry, I.
No,
no.
Yeah,
I know.
yeah.
But I mean, next year we take more ownership of it.
Yeah.
Yes, yes.
We add those papers.
Yeah.
So that would be an additional.
We can add it to our plan.
Yes, we should add it to our plan and an increase in our budget.
As people read the signage, are people aware that there's a little bit of controversy around syllabics?
Oh, yeah.
As well as like Roman orthography.
Yeah, because at one point there was sort of a story going around that the syllabics was invented by James Evans, who was a Methodist minister in Bowley House. And that's not true at all. Absolutely not true. He was passionately interested in languages, and he learned particularly when he had served in the community in southern Ontario, and then when he came to Norway House, he learned Cree, and he realized that the syllabics was really because people knew it, and it was a way to spread information. And so, along with several people in the community who got things like the book, the Bible service book, translated into the syllabics, and then and also the photography. But most of the work was done by local people. And his contribution was that he arranged to get a printing press sent there, and people in the community printed lots of copies of the books and the service book. So, I mean, it was, so that was his contribution, was helping it to be used in that way, but he did not invent the ceramics. They've been there for a long, long time in various forms. I mean, it was variations across the whole of the north of this country. And there's some interesting parallels between those sort of symbols and symbols, written symbols for other languages, continent, and also the Basque community in North Spain. They had a written form that looks very similar. So when the Basque sailors were over, to fish and caught fisheries around Newfoundland, they may have learned the Slavics from the people here and taken it back to. Anyway, there's a few people here who do not like the Slavics because of this. It was invented by a white person, and that is absolutely not true. There was a fellow called Nelson Hart, who is a Cree scholar, and he's very, very knowledgeable about Cree and Slavics and the Roman orthography and all the different variations. And I was he's also a church minister originally from Nelson House. But I was at a meeting where we started the meeting saying, well, we've heard that James Evans invented syllabics. That is a lie. And then that was in English, then he went into Cree, so I did not understand, unfortunately, the rest of what he said. But I managed to meet him a few months later. I said, okay, Nelson, tell me what you said. So, and that was.
I think when it comes to the signage, like we're talking and we're going to be consulting with people in the community. So if there are issues, I think that's really outside of the work we're doing.
Yeah.
So, I mean,
Yeah.
not that it's not important or anything, I'm not saying that, but like just with respect to the signs specifically,
Yeah.
we're doing our job to consult with.
Yes.
So,
Well, I just thought,
outside of that.
yeah, I just thought you may run into.
Yeah.
So,
Definitely.
I mean,
Well,
it's not-
there's always two sides of it.
Yeah.
One, we're not supposed to write our in your culture history now.
Yeah.
But on the other hand, lose it now.
We need to write it down.
But we need to write it down, we'll lose it, so, there's always two sides.
Yeah.
And can you tell the traditional stories outside of history?
Yeah, another one, right?
But I think it's important that we get, that when people who don't live in Sioux Lookout come here, that they recognize what the traditional name is, like.
Yeah.
So it's important that we restore that, yeah.
Yeah, but I remember as a kid in Kenora, they had some businesses having to Kenora, and it was like, glad you are here, and then had it in Roman, and I think Slavics too, they had like the banks.
Yeah.
For that too, like around, like on Main Street there, yeah. It looked nice, I don't know what happened to it now, but 10 years ago.
Awesome, okay. So next item, number 3, November meeting, what is this one? Awaiting response for the display cabinets. Jen will attend the meeting to discuss Front Street concepts. I'm not sure, I missed the last meeting, so.
I think that happened at the council meeting, did it not? That they approved the next step for the drawings for Front Street. And now, after the approval, now they're gonna come to the Truth and Reconciliation Committee.
Oh, yeah,
And
sorry,
better
yeah, you jogged my mind.
So yes.
Yeah, so what happened was that the phase 1 of the drawings for Centennial Park, it got approved as that was like the guideline. But then I asked if it comes to the Truth and Reconciliation Committee before anything happens, that it gets kind of put through us for the new plans for Centennial Park. And yeah, I guess Jen will come to the next meeting and talk more about it, but we just asked the council, before we can use the updated kind of drawing and design concept for Centennial Park, use that as a guideline, but have to pass through us as a committee before it moves on to the next stage or the next whatever.
Well, I think procedurally, you can correct me if I'm wrong, that it has passed council.
Yeah.
Stage 2 has been approved.
Already, yeah.
And so they're coming to get consultation from us, but it's already been approved.
It's already been approved.
But it's been approved,
So we have-
it's been approved as that, as the guideline, we approved, okay, here's the guideline, but nothing has been passed, it's just use this photo, use this conceptual drawing as the guideline. But, you know what I mean, change it.
Yeah,
it's just
we can
that
ask
as
Jen
the
about
base,
it, but-
it's not,
I'm pretty sure that.
nothing's been like
Yeah.
approved, there's no money involved, there's no.
No, but it's been approved to go to the next step, which are the drawings. So I don't know how much input we're gonna be able to have to change that because council's already approved and so she's meeting with us, but.
We're a check in the box for
Well, what,
consultation.
what are we looking to provide? What are they looking for the Truth and Reconciliation to provide?
Just to provide, so this isn't being like, okay, we're gonna do Front Street, we're done, wash our hands, like take our time with this, so that this isn't,
Yeah.
we're not rushing through this and get, okay, we're done.
That's what I'm saying. So, because we can be a little bit more prepared and be able to have some ideas on what, but I'm not even sure what they're looking for on Front Street. Like,
Yeah, we can ask, it was just for.
is it for signage? Is
I
it,
think at one point we talked about, not necessarily changing,
monument?
not changing the name, but like an acknowledge, like having some kind of signage there, right? to
Okay.
acknowledge the history of the
There are drawings, like they've released drawings, what
Yeah.
they want it to be.
I should have printed one
Yeah.
out.
In terms of layout.
Well, the drawings exist. And now they're going to the next step, which I believe are getting costing and figuring out, how much it would cost to go to tender. That's the next step. And the council approved $20,000 for the next step. So, I don't know what we can approve what we can give at this point, but I really think, and Reese and I both fought hard at the table for this, that Front Street, they're like a lot of people brought up the social issues on Front Street. And what mechanism do we have in the municipality to consult with Indigenous people in what direction Front Street needs to go? And I think it's important that Indigenous voices are heard. And that's what this committee is about. So we really felt strongly, Reese and I, that if they were to proceed without consulting this committee, they were missing a step.
Yeah.
So
I'm
that's what
missing
we.
the voice. at the
Yeah,
table.
and so we felt, you guys have great voices and we want your voices to be heard before we proceed and do something on Front Street that could, I don't know, create harm to our community or, it could turn out just absolutely amazing. But I really think it's important that for us to proceed, that we listen to the Indigenous voices that will have a different outlook and insight than we have.
So for the November 19th meeting that Jen will attend, prior to that, I guess it would be good for us to get a copy so that we can come prepared. I just hate coming to a meeting kind of going,
here you go.
I'd rather have a bunch of notes ready so we could just.
Michelle can make sure everyone gets the drawings. Yeah. And maybe do a check-in with Brian to find out where are we at? Like,
Yeah,
yeah.
just like this project, like,
Where are we at?
this project, like it is good that we are updating Centennial Park, but like, it's not something that. How do I explain it? It's not something that should be rushed, it's something we either take our time. You would do it once and do it right the first time, because again, my experience with that, I used to live in Hearst. They completely redid their downtown like summer 2012, 2013. And now, 10 years later, it looks worse, because they had all this bold design, but then they had no maintenance strategy to keep it looking fresh. And now you drive by Hearst and you're like, no offenses, I know it's recorded, but like, you're like, whoa, this town has seen better days.
I don't think it'll be rushed anyways, because there's no money right now. There's probably not
Yeah.
any money for the foreseeable.
But the thing is that the design process is happening, which, I mean, it could.
It is
go on-
part of your
It could
planning.
go on a shelf, but one day it will be removed from the shelf and it will be a project. So I think it's important that there's proper input at this point. Even if we don't spend the money to do it next week,
Well,
it still will
There's
exist.
gonna be some proper consultation with our partners in town, right? Like, you can't,
Well, I think the consultation has already happened.
like, while they're talking to like Stefan Mobile Outreach Program, or talking to the Northwestern Health Unit, I think there's a lot of
Yeah.
social issues there, and you think it's all with how those services are gonna be managed, right? You can't just push people aside.
Like, I mean, I did print out the comments, some of them,
Yeah.
like a lot of the not to read them out loud, but all the common elements, just reading through them, like the most common things in keeping the park clean, garbage, safety, inclusivity, lighting, crosswalks, safe injection sites, like those are what people wanted in the survey, that one that went out online. So those just the common elements I got from, so people want a safe, clean, inclusive park, but what does that look like? I think that's the point now, is like, people want that, but you know, how do we get there? How do we get to this?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
With the respect and, you know, like I talked to Brian about this, like we are the Truth and Reconciliation Committee. And what's happening on Front Street is a direct result of intergenerational trauma from residential school. And we are like a 40-minute drive from where the residential school was. So this is a Truth and Reconciliation Committee a situation, like where they should have input on what the next steps are.
But we can provide input to staff to be like,
Yeah.
okay, you have to
Yeah.
talk with the health unit or whatever, you have to talk
Yeah.
with the friendship center, you know what I mean? So where do I start staff? These, you know. Yeah.
Like what are the next steps? Yeah. Okay.
Well, I think just thinking out loud here, just listening to what I'm trying to get is Front Street, we have a revitalization project in place. Are we looking, just to clear, are we looking for any documentations or forms that say we're going to have syllabics there? Is it signage there? Or are we actually looking at how it's going to include everyone? Because the Truth and Reconciliation, we're looking at a complex way that Front Street is. It is generational. It is results of like, you know, residential school, but we also have like, there are an increase in drugs, increase in alcohol, like these are all compounded. So if we're looking at inclusivity, again, needing to hear from the community, which you guys are doing. I remember I used to sit on Front Street all the time when I was a kid, with people or not. There used to be a house where Subway was. So do you remember that? So I mean, Sioux Lookout has done leaps and bounds by way of like making Front Street a little bit more. I know people avoid it. We don't have as much retail down there as we used to. It has become more of like the second street. Like your retail is, we're looking at Wilson's, Johnny's, town office, like this portion tends to be the main hub. So I mean, is the goal to have Front Street become that new place or that revitalized place, or is it going to become like a secondary? Because you do have the Northwestern Health Unit, you do have the bank, you do have Centennial Center, Gorge Taxi, OATC. Like we are looking at how the dynamic has changed on that street entirely. Because we don't have restaurants other than the Fifth on that street and Subway. Like,
Charlie.
oh yeah, Charlie's is there. Yes. Okay. Sorry, Charlie. But like, do you see how it's not our focal point anymore? So I think when we look at it, it doesn't have to be, like you said, a complete revitalization. It just has to be able to support what we're looking at for that area, because there are already a lot of people who don't go down there, right? Like I think I walk all down King Street now if I go for walks. So it like, how are we making that more inclusive, more safe, more like what was the goal? Because it's not a focal point. I would say the town dock is.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think when at the beginning of this, that was Jen's goals. Like that's what she was trying to figure out.
Was where we are at.
Yeah, where are we at? What role does this play? What do we need? That was the goal of the survey.
Yeah.
And maybe that's an opportunity to like get people to take that thought from thinking it's going to be a focal point
Yeah,
to an actual, how is this going to benefit the rest of the community? And the only reason I'm giving that is like, because we can change the verbiage on that. We can change how it's received. But I mean, I think,
Well, are we gonna become another town who abandons Front Street and then all the businesses start opening outside of
Yeah.
the town, right?
and I mean, there's already that one in progress for going out by the airport, like how much
yeah,
is the thought to be? Because even I think the design said that there wasn't retail on Front Street still.
no, and we again, we still have 2 vacant buildings on Front Street too, that
Massive
they
buildings.
don't.
No, the only building we have vacant on Front Street is like the Mayfair Theater has
Yep.
been sold.
Yeah.
And, the old IJ building has been sold, so the north.
Yeah, and also
northern
the
And
old D&D's bar.
the lot, the
Yeah,
empty
the
lot.
lot, yeah, that's not.
So we have an empty lot and one building,
Mhm.
and the northern, it's not for sale.
No.
Like, it's not like there is an opportunity for someone to go in. I'm sure if there was, Jen would make sure that that happened. But there is an opportunity. They will not sell it. They are not interested in someone going in there or leaving it vacant
It's vacant.
because they own Giant Tiger and they don't want a competitor. I'm just saying.
But also, it's very difficult too, because I was,
Yeah, there we go.
I had very different conversations with people to talk about Front Street. They're like, because again, I tell people too, like, as a Ontario community, we're a puppet of the province. Because now, I guess Doug Ford said, if you want bike lanes to your community, it has to pass through the province now.
What?
Yeah, this only happened literally like yesterday. So we want bike lane, it has to be approved by the province. So people, Front Street, I know that's a very emotional response to people. You'll say, I have to tell people too, like, as a town, we can't build housing and nor we can't build retail, but we can help create an environment where hopefully retail and housing can thrive. That's the only thing we can do here as our role as councilors and mayor, at this table, is that we can help create an environment where hopefully these can thrive, but we can't do it ourselves. We can't build housing. That's not, if we try to build housing, the province will shut it down so quick. It'll be.
We don't have
it'll
revenue.
be-
We don't have the income to build.
We do have the income.
Like, that's not our-
But what we can do for friendship, people are like, well, why can't the town do this? I'm like, we can't just build a mall ourselves. It's,
Yeah.
we're like, the town cannot be a landlord, with all due respect, but we can help create the environment where somebody can come in and build, that's the only power we have. So for Front Street too, it's just like, what can we do what can we do as a council to help make Centennial Park and Front Street safe, inclusive, keeping the park clean, like what can we do to help get from what the people want and like, what's that bridge? What's that bridge gonna look like? And I think that's gonna take time. Like that's not, like, I don't think we're gonna get this done within our term as council. It's.
And
no.
even like with retail, if people want retail back on Front Street. But even if you create the buildings, like you look across from Dairy Queen, they put in that little strip mall. Well, a service organization went in there.
Yeah.
So it didn't go in as retail. So you can build the retail spaces, you can invite the people, but that doesn't mean you're getting retail.
Mhm.
Like Sioux Lookout can only support so much retail because the world has changed.
Yeah,
Amazon.
Amazon.
Yeah, it's a different world.
I think I
It
know
was.
stuff.
If the world has changed in the last 2 years.
It's too funny.
Yeah.
It's not.
I hear you, Reese.
Yeah.
I'm just like.
Love Fresh Market, but I don't know.
Well, I mean, but there you go. If you don't support the local retail, they die.
Yeah, that's exactly, and that's what's happening.
Yeah.
Like,
And we'll continue to.
yes, yeah, it's very tough to be a retail business person in a small town, in any small town. It's very tough. You have a limited market, you're competing on a global market, and you're just a rural person. So it's, so you can't just make people in stores and make them have retail. Like retail, can either be really successful or it can be a tough.
Yeah.
And I'm grateful for the businesses that are here and are doing well, but you can only support so many businesses, right? So
Yeah. So, I mean, one of the questions is, does the town want a green space downtown that looks nice? And that is a gathering place. I mean, I guess when it was originally there, it was kind of like as a green space. So, I mean, they could say, oh, develop it, and just within the park, that can develop it.
Yeah,
Well, in preparation for the November 19th meeting, if we get the plans, then that's where we come prepared with our questions and stuff.
And maybe
Yeah.
a short synopsis of exactly where we're at. too.
Yeah.
What steps have, what progress are we at, and where?
Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you for clarifying that. I needed,
Yeah.
because I was
Yeah.
not sure,
Yes.
but it was all going forward with the November
seems like it's
19th,
kind of money in one process.
right?
No money.
Not
Not just us, it's all over. I know.
I know.
It's everywhere.
It's every,
It's coming up, like, I did a tour, I drove up to, I was just gonna look at it, it's.
It was huge. So, and they go.
Yeah, there's a few colors.
What's happening? I'm curious about that, if you go up North Road, to the airport, where Sheldon has its office, there's an area that's been cleared and there's few trailers. What's
Yeah,
that?
it's a display for those modular homes.
Yeah, north back.
Yeah, and I mean, they're selling, so there's a need for them. It's a very good form of housing that can go up very
Yeah.
quickly, so.
So it is displayed, they're not.
They're displayed.
The housing area.
No, and I believe like they're selling quickly, so if you want one, you better be in touch with them now, because they're selling quickly, yeah. And it is a good form of housing, yeah. Definitely.
Okay, so let's get back to the agenda. Number 4, hybrid meetings. I'm not sure for that, because I didn't come, wasn't at the last meeting.
Well, at the council meeting, they did approve.
Oh, yes.
Hybrid meetings. So what happens is, committees follow. There's a policy that they follow what happens with the council meetings. So, but there was a question about the committees that, because presently, like, you can zoom in now to a meeting if you want to. You'd have to, if you need some support, I think the town IT guy will support you to figure out what you need. But it's not counting towards quorum. So that's not gonna help us. So Brian is looking at that for committees. So he's doing another study, or he's looking at how it's gonna affect committees, and he's going, because we had to get council passed. So now he's gonna bring forward the committee stuff. But in the meantime, people can zoom in, but it doesn't.
But
help
the
us.
forum has to be in person, so it can't be like 2 or 3 people, no, what I mean, it has to be, the majority has to be.
Why? Give me some logical reason why.
We don't know.
I'll come back to council, yeah.
Yeah, so Brian is coming back with a
Well,
further
please
information.
Ask that
Yes.
question, the council,
Yes.
that is, I mean, I'm on a number of different groups. And you're gonna have quorum.
With his, yes,
Yeah.
yes,
It makes sense for council, that would be quorum in person.
yeah.
Why?
But for the committees, and that's why Brian, he is looking at it, how, like, he's gonna come to us at council with some changes to how the committees will work in the future. But in the meantime, we can still do it. Well, who's gonna reach out to like Sewell, Michelle? Because like for us, the key thing was for like Sewell to use this feature so they don't have to drive all the way in. So, but I don't know.
You think you can wait till after the election?
Oh, yeah, that makes sense, yes.
Elections in a few weeks, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Pretty soon. Okay, number 5, that's you, Reese.
What was it again?
The, what did we add on?
Oh,
We added on,
no, yeah.
Yes.
So I think we have to do another motion here to bring this back to council for the land agreement to be set at every meeting. So yeah, maybe we can just do a motion here, right now, just asking that staff bring to council that a land acknowledgement we have here that we say at every meeting. That at the start of every, I guess, council meeting, the chair, whether that be the mayor or acting mayor, has to provide the land acknowledgement. Is that the way to put it?
At the council meeting,
Yeah.
currently they don't, right?
No,
Okay.
That's
So
good.
our recommendation is that they do, so are we passing the motions to recommend to council they do?
Yeah, so we're passing the motion that this gets brought up to council as a staff report, so that might be. Not Michelle, it'll probably be Megan bringing it to council as a staff report, asking council to vote on at the start of every council meeting. The chair, which would be the mayor, whoever's chairing the meeting, to read the land acknowledgement for every meeting. Because this has been approved, right? The one we're saying out loud.
it hasn't been approved. I have the original email from Megan, which was on April 17th, and she was requesting all members reply individually to her directly.
Oh,
To whether they agree with this land acknowledgements to be the official land acknowledgement for the municipality of Sioux Lookout to be used prior to any meeting where it would be appropriate to do so. And so we were to answer yes or no, but then I don't.
I think that was the last we heard about it.
Yeah, that was the last we heard, but so sort of like where are we at with this? And I think we would like it to be.
I don't even remember that.
Yeah, that was so long.
April.
April.
But I remember a discussion with. Oh, okay, I remember a discussion that they did, like Darlene and Brian and.
Yeah.
So like they met to.
Yeah.
Develop that one,
Yeah,
right?
yes,
Right.
yes. Yeah.
So we need to approve it as well?
I think we need to
Well,
put it
we
in
have already
motion.
said yes or no here, but now we need, if we want them to start saying it at council, we can't, nothing can happen at council without us bringing a resolution for it to go to council.
Yes, we need a motion in second,
Yeah.
right?
Can we read the?
Land
again,
acknowledgement
one more
out.
time? Just one more time.
So, sorry, it's, yeah, as we start our meeting, we acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Sioux First Nation within Treaty 3, and that many people and communities that we serve in Sioux Lookout, traditionally known as, and it has the spelling, WAANAA, WAKAANK. So Wanina Wangam, I was told it's the,
Waninawagan. And like, I'm not saying it right, yes, and Ojibwe speaker will say it correctly, but it's Waninawagan, I think a little,
Wow.
a little.
Yeah.
It's a little inflection or something.
yeah, so yeah, so yeah, spelled WAANAA, WAKAANK, meaning Bay of Sandy Beaches, come from treaties 5 and 9 of the Anishinaabe Nation.
Of the Anishinaabe Nation.
Yeah,
Of the Anishinaabe Nation. Did we put that in there?
Is that it? It says that in there?
yeah, come from treaties
I
5
don't
and 9
know.
of the Anishinaabe
But
Nation.
not all communities are. part
From
of
it.
Yeah,
Nah.
because like,
Because I think that. was-
KI is an independent community.
Yeah, and Laxul is independent, Catchigum's independent,
Yeah.
Muskrat Jam's
Maybe we
independent.
should just say from treaty 5
5
and
and 9.
Yeah.
Period.
Yep, man, because, yeah, not everybody's a part.
Because, and they're a political entity.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
Yes, then we're trying to,
And
So, yes, we would say
Yeah, we
Bay,
don't know what the process was with how that got in. We have no.
I can't remember, I know we had this.
Yeah, we had this-
figuring out, yeah, that's before we even had a budget.
yeah, I'm sorry to bug you, can you spell it again,
Oh, so it's WAANAA, WAKAANK. So it just says. So I'll say one last time, sorry. As we start our meeting, we acknowledge we are on the traditional territory of the Sioux First Nation within Treaty 3, and that many of the people and communities that we serve in Sioux Lookout, traditionally known as Waninawagan, meaning Bay of Sandy Beaches, come from treaties 5 and 9.
Yeah, you're right, it's Wanawagum. Because that WAK sound does not go together. It goes WA and then KA is the actual sound. So Wanawagum. Yeah,
Actually, when you look at the syllabics, it's like, you know, if you do it very simplistically, it's one guy.
yeah.
And then there's one, but.
Wanawagum.
when I say that, I
Gun.
struggle up with laughter. And well, I think it's one.
Yeah, one.
wanna walk and,
I wonder if maybe,
Because people, yeah,
yeah.
we can get someone to just say it like slowly. We just.
Yeah, I agree, like
Yeah.
phonetically, so that
Yeah.
we can hear it, because when we read it phonetically, gun,
It's hard to remove the
Yes.
traditional English when you're.
grabbing everything together. But anytime there is a vowel after a consonant, that is essentially your break. So it doesn't go walk.
Oh, I never thought about that.
It doesn't say wanna walk.
Yeah.
It says wanna walk. Cause it goes consonant. Thank you. I was like syllable. Okay, so consonant vowel, and that's how you break it down, but. Wanna,
So we like the new version without man.
yeah.
I'll English, not be asking.
the people and communities, what's the first part? Can you read it then?
And many of the people in communities that we serve in Sioux Lookout traditionally know.
Yeah, it needs to take, it would be nice to hear territory 5 and 9
And
and 3 rather.
No,
Oh,
I
sorry,
was just thinking maybe,
Let's see.
I don't know, I think it's fine. I was thinking train of the Anishinaabe, Anishinaabe people.
There you go.
No, yeah.
I like that. Initial one.
Instead of people and
Yeah,
community.
I'm reviewing it. Like that's all within Treaty 3. That's all First Nation within Treaty 3. And then the name, known as Wanawagan, meaning based on the beaches. And we acknowledge that many of the people and communities we serve come from Treaty 3 and 9.
What, 5 and 9?
5 and 9, sorry.
But you want to.
3, 5, and
You want
9.
to change the people of the community to, did you want to change it?
Initial.
What did it say?
Yeah, this is where we need to chart people.
Yeah, I need to see it.
After the meeting, could you send an
Yeah.
email out?
Yeah,
And then we'll just,
Yeah. Yeah.
and then that way at the end of it, we'll just all be like, yeah, this is good, we like it, and then. And then have the motion or the recommendation created from that.
Yeah.
Because we can like vote on that through email, can't we? Just say,
I don't know, I don't think we can. We could create a working committee. And then vote the motion at the next meeting.
So I was saying, so many other people, like many of. Reaching that.
Okay.
I think that'd be complicated, because I was thinking of getting the
Which is essentially all they
And
are.
I only bring that up just because, things evolve, right? And that knowledge evolves, so, would you create communities, like the term we're trying to avoid using that term, initially new, right? And as communities embrace that, finding, getting their nationhood back, it's like asserting their nationhood.
Yeah.
It'd be nice to acknowledge that, right?
Mhm.
So you guys can work on this and then we could bring it to the next meeting and you do a motion then.
sounds good. Awesome.
So-
Yeah, maybe, we can make a couple recommendations.
Yeah, I'll send this out to email.
Okay.
We need to like almost like take a look at and think about it. I think that-
Kind of just sit with it.
Yes, sit with it,
Yeah,
yeah.
everybody looked at it back in April, like the whole mission in your thing was just kind of.
Working out, yeah.
At the time, so now it's.
What about the connection with folks in Thunder Bay, because that's Superior Robertson, truly. Because I know at the church we often encourage like following and days in person.
Well, then we would have to include Fort Francis area.
Yeah.
They come here,
Yeah.
and we're just gonna open it up and it's gonna
Yeah.
be this huge.
Yeah.
Just keep it simple.
Keep it simple.
Yeah, we do have the health authority because we now have offices in Thunder Bay, so we know added Robinson's Fair, but. We don't work directly with them, so.
Yeah. All right, number 6, Tom Terry, Eileen.
Yeah, well, it's just we had trouble inviting him to a meeting. Because we've had trouble making quorum and our meetings get cancelled, and so I'm just not bothered inviting him because I didn't want to invite him to something like yesterday, but it got cancelled and moved. So I was thinking, could we form a working group
Mhm.
and meet with Tom and other people that we would like to sort of just brainstorm around, you know, to hear what Tom again had to say about the names, because he's got the maps with the names on them. And sort of brainstorm what we might do, like we thought about putting something in the park, you know, on some sort of graphics with, you know, some sort of history and place names. And maybe there might be, you know, another place to put something about place names like that. Which I do wish people would stop referring to as Farmwood Park, like it was the town beach, which is where it's supposed to go. However, not inside. But so I would recommend that we form a working group and elect Tom and other people interested in history. And
So would that be under our build relationships with local partners? Is that just going back to our work plan to making, just want to make sure the work we're doing, because we did the work plan at the beginning of the year, that it falls under.
It could also be part of education. And to restore some of the original names, it could be an educational campaign.
Yeah.
And it could be just a project that carries.
Yeah. This wasn't his original proposal where there would be an education piece within the school system
Yeah.
around the traditional names, so.
Who wants to head up the working group?
Do you know him personally?
Yeah.
Okay, you want to have it? maybe?
Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Brent, do you want to be on the committee?
Yeah, I'll go to you.
Okay. So, okay, I'll let you three do it, but if you need any partnership development or anyone to go to market it, I'm willing to jump in and market anything that you guys want me to market, okay? I need that to talk.
Good.
Yeah.
And I think the other thing that's important is language around this, that we're not renaming anything. We're not proposing to rename anything.
No.
We're just trying to capture the historical names or restore. We're trying to restore, not rename. Yeah.
Even though I will say, growing up, I've never heard Farminger Beach until they changed that. I've never heard Farminger Park until they redid it.
Where's Darlington Park?
Town Beach.
When they.
Yeah.
I like where?
There's no sign of saying that.
Yeah, but even when I was a kid, it was Town Beach, Town Beach, Town Beach.
I know, I came here 22 years ago and I never.
Very far.
Yeah. Well, even when you say, I'll meet you at Farmington Park, people say, where's that? And you say, Town Beach.
Yeah.
Just turn.
Like town
So
beach.
that's what I thought, I'm just curious, who started saying Farminger Beach and that
I
got,
think they officially named it that.
did they?
Yeah.
Named that.
Really?
That's officially named that. That's the real name of it.
Okay.
Yeah, but in Sioux Lookout, people are very slow at changing names, like you even,
What do you mean,
You know,
always? Like, cause
like
I'm
far as I
not.
know.
Johnny's, people still call it Johnny.
Everyone-
Yeah. Yeah, like they just. people-
We don't let go.
Yeah.
We don't let go. Hang on.
Well, and the generations coming up, they're not gonna call it that. The kids
Yes.
are gonna call it Town Beach and that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's been, like, that name isn't like.
Somebody-
Who is
Farminger? Person?
He was the person who owned that land,
Oh,
he owned that land, so,
Yeah, he owned the land and there was a lumber mill.
yeah, the lumber mill over by the bridge, where the bridge.
which he used for the building of the hospital, because the
And the
hospital
railroad.
was flat.
It started with the railroad, it was all about building the railroad buildings. And they built houses, they built businesses, and he owned like where Jeff Farlinger lives. He owned it, 2 houses or 3 houses on there.
And so the other
Yeah.
question going back, who was Graham? Up in Sioux Lookout, who was Graham? Is it like Horn Payne, here, Tom Horn Payne, one name just street after you, okay, and Dryden, Dryden,
Why is the railroad called the railroad?
is that a guy?
Well, no, it was a fellow who was on the railroad, who was from Wales. And that was where he was from, is a little town called the Norwich in Wales.
Yeah.
We got to, name him. And he said, well, we'll come, you know. that.
Michelle, I do have a correction. I apologize for the
I
delay.
didn't even pick. it
I
up
was,
either.
I would like to say I am amazing. I'm just teasing. It says that I was absent here with regrets, but I also seconded to adjourn the meeting. I wasn't. They just added me. Whatever.
End the meeting.
Yeah, I up in spirit. Adjourn the meeting. But so I'm not sure who did
She probably
second,
has it in her notes.
Yeah.
She probably does. It
but
was
just to flag it, because I was not here.
Where did it say?
Adjournment in the minutes. So last,
Meeting that you read.
I adjourned the meeting that I was absent at. So I'm like, just for the record, so it knows.
Okay, number 9, the work plan.
Yes, new work plan.
No, I was given this by John. I just wanted to explain it so that we don't lose track of it. Because one of the things in our work plan is the memorialization event. So Darlene has this grant information that's available to run one of these. So I think it would be probably Jennifer that would look to see whether we would be eligible to get these. And the deadline is March 31st, 2025. So if we're gonna run one of these events.
We'd have to get that in
we'd have
now.
To get that in, we'd have to make that decision.
What was the-
So it's for, this is a grant available to support community-led commemoration initiatives. So, and we want to do that memorial event for the unmarked graves at the Norway.
So how about information for the November 19th meeting? We send that to her and she can give us a quick blurb on, this is what I need from you guys.
Yeah.
And then that way we just all at once, we can kind of get.
Yes,
the
get
ball
her
rolling.
input into both things at the same time, yes.
I mean,
Yeah.
yeah, I remember we, like, in our meeting of the recap, of the Orange Shirt Day walk, it was brought up about, is there gonna be a permanent memorial? And kind of like what they have at the Rotary Park, and I just said, that, you know, that has to come from this community, that, you know, that. I don't have an answer for you right now, so.
Yeah.
It has to come from this and. So I did invite them to maybe come at a future meeting, this was at the camp,
Well, depending on how that works out, I'm wondering if
Yeah.
it works out, we create another working group specific to that, so that it's got all of the partners in town
Mhm.
input. And then we
for a
work,
future.
like, if we're gonna do a permanent, you know,
Yeah.
it's it's not a committee. thing,
Yeah, us,
It's a
yeah.
community thing, and
Yeah.
we're just supporting.
Maybe we can invite them to a future meeting as a delegation.
But I think we should, I like Alana's idea, we should start, like, if we're gonna, because Darlene really wants us to do this memorialized event
No,
for the North Way graveyard.
Yeah.
And it would be a huge event, like you
Yeah,
said,
okay.
it
Yeah.
would have to, it would involve partners, it would involve, you know, families that are involved, traveling the community, it would have to be a 3-day event.
Yeah,
You know, like, and it would have to be very culturally led, like it would have to include people like Slifna and, you know, the tribal councils, and like we'd have to have multiple, we'd have to have multiple
Yeah.
partners, Black Stool, you know, so it would be a substantially large event.
Yeah.
I know when we were talking about it, James was there, and like he even said we could have a hockey game at the same time, so we could get other things in the community
Stuff going
happening
on.
around the event.
Mhm.
So this would be, like, we take this project on, we're gonna only be able to do a couple of other small projects and this.
Yeah.
This is gonna be our big project, so if we commit to do this, it's a huge project.
lots of time outside of this,
Yes, yeah,
for sure. I would definitely.
and I think it's time for us to do this, I think we should do it.
This is
Yeah.
about the organization, the North.
Yes,
Okay,
yes,
so, I don't know about the other churches, but certainly the United Church has some funds specifically for sort of, things to do with healing and reconciliation.
yeah.
That we could apply for, so I'll find out.
Yeah, maybe find that and get that to
what
Jim
the
as well,
deadlines are.
because we would need substantial funding, because this
Yeah.
is not just gonna be,
A
like, this would be a
Yeah.
large.
Yeah, trying to the Kenora Rotary Peace Park, they have Memorial, that's the one right by the Safeway. That was a federal grant they got. to-
Well, I'm not sure if that's a federal grant or.
Well, this was also like years ago, it's like 2017, 2018.
Could we all, like, I'd like to get a copy of that,
Yeah.
just to do my own little
Yeah.
pre-read.
Yeah.
I know.
If, maybe if the municipality can apply for that funds, but
Another community.
somebody else
Yeah.
can, right? And the municipality can be a partner, right?
Yeah.
So I just like to. just wanna
And like you said, there might be federal truth and reconciliation funds, right? Like, who knows what's all out there. So can you send everyone a copy of that?
So Darlene brought that forward to you?
Yes, Darlene found that. Yeah, okay, perfect.
Who is that with? Where's that from?
The sponsor.
National Center for Truth and
Right.
Reconciliation,
Which is good.
University of Manitoba.
Yeah, I seen that before, but make sure it's the same one.
So, but I noticed in the work plan that that piece is on hold until the lights will bring the children home. Is on its way. So where's like full out with that? But I don't think you even, I know we're going to look for graves around the school and around sort of south of the old Zone Hospital.
The funding though was all cut from the feds. Yeah. So I think right now.
We can include them as part of this process, so.
Yeah, because we have said memorialization would need to be on hold until we finish doing that.
See, I think that what Darlene was saying is too bad she's not here, because when we talked about it, like they know, they've done research, they know what's what's happened in this small area. And like, we wouldn't be doing all of, we're just gonna do this one memorialization.
Yeah,
of this
we're not.
area. Like, we keep saying, well, we have to put it on hold because of this, we have to put it on hold because of this, but in the meantime, those people are there, unmarked graves with no acknowledgement, so.
This is not something we're taking away from Laxwell by any
Yeah,
means.
yeah. Yeah, like this is in Sioux Lookout, our home graveyard, where we have unmarked graves. in
Yeah,
Eastern
but
Area.
I think that property's still federal property though, that's the only issue.
Mhm.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I think we might have to ask permission to even use it. Or to even, you know what I mean?
No, we're not talking about that property, we're talking about the cemetery.
Oh,
okay,
sorry.
sorry.
So
We're talking about any of the, we're talking about in our own
Yeah,
civic
but we
graveyard.
because proximity there, they're right beside.
Yes,
the-
we have unmarked graves in our own graveyard,
Mhm.
and that there should be a memorial. Yeah, they didn't.
Oh, so I thought you mentioned that it was on the house.
So what she's suggesting is we take the big giant project and we make it quite a bit smaller. But we would still, since we're doing that, we would need to, it would still need to include it.
Yeah, still include everyone,
Yeah.
So
definitely.
that's more than helpful. And then the other thing is, what about the site by Rotary Park? What was,
And we'll have to figure that out.
yeah, that's a.
Yeah.
Yes, that's a separate thing, yeah. I think that Brian has to, didn't he come to the meeting a couple meetings ago and he had to figure out what
Yeah, that was
land we actually own there,
Yeah.
what, who owns what, yeah. Because Brian does want something to happen like that, like it's,
Yeah,
yeah.
It's getting bigger.
Yeah, exactly.
All right, are there any more updates for the work plan we need to add? I did add the Tom Terry working group. Well, I don't know what we'll call it, but to the educational campaign.
Place names working group.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah.
And then added the grant under,
Under the doorway.
yeah.
Yeah. And maybe by doing this smaller event, then we'll be more, it could be like a learning curve for us. when we
Yeah,
get to
everyone,
the bigger event, right?
So after we went through all of this, so for next meeting, so we have a big meeting, the next one, which is Jen. Just gonna talk on those 2 points, but then we also have to have our budget for next year ready and probably a rough work plan.
Yeah.
Kind of just an update of what we plan on doing next
So maybe
year.
we should decide at this meeting, like, what are the projects that we want to do next year? Like, if we can get those yard signs and those, the little name, the name on the businesses at the airport, then what do we want to focus on? Like, Brent wants us to do the guidelines for the event, which would be, I don't think it would be too cost prohibitive.
No,
It would be minimum cost.
yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and it would be nice
It could be like 2 to 4 page document.
yeah, it'd be nice to produce a little brochure.
Yeah, exactly.
And when someone rents space, they're given the brochure, you know, these are sort of the cultural expectations. And we could share it with all the organizations in town, social media, whatever, right? So that would probably be, you know, a couple $100, and then a large portion of our money would have to go to do more. I mean, we would still have to do, you know, our blueberry events and our truth and reconciliation events, and then this one big event.
And the bounce big.
Yeah, that's a blueberry event, yeah.
So one of the things with this memorial event is because the Bringing Our Children Home initiative, which is incorrect in our notes, it's called Bringing Our Children Home initiative.
Bring it home, children.
Yeah, Bringing Home the Children. I was like, yeah,
I kept reading that.
yeah, I know, right? So if they come back for their funding, they're going to want to participate. So you know how we were talking about the hybrid? We really do need to get a LACSOL member
Yeah.
on the truth and
Yes.
reconciliation. So if we're taking a step back and looking at how and what the next steps are, we need that person. We need their feedback. We need to know what they're hearing from the Bringing Our Children Home initiative, as well as LACSOL taking on that responsibility. So they're going to want to participate and we want to support them. So we'd be able to go into an acting and a supporting with the memorial, but also getting the proposal and really identifying what that looks like, even if it's just a survey to be like, what do you guys see as the memorial event? Because people are like, we're talking children, we're talking aunts and uncles, parents, people who were told of these people but never met them. Like, there's going to be a lot of stuff. So how do we make it, like you say, a 3-day event where it's like understanding, people are having the opportunity again to feast. One of the biggest things in the culture is feasts.
Yeah.
You want to get us together, we're going to eat. Like, you know what? And we want to sit there and we want to joke and we want to have fun and we want to have music and we want to have like understanding. You're going to have all different types of cultures, you're going to have all different types of spiritual backgrounds. Like, you got to make it so that it's moving between all of those elements, because that's how we celebrate. And I know, okay, I speak for myself. There's always those token people who have like, I'm thinking like, Justice Murray Sinclair. It would be great if we had an opportunity to have him come.
Yes.
It would be great if we had like even Russell Diablo come. There are all of these different
Yeah.
people who are aware. However, we actually do have people in our region who are just as important. And I really think that we need to start promoting our community leaders. So again, maybe going through some planning stages, the iterative stage, we really need to be able to identify some of these people, interactions with them. Again, Chief Clifford Bull has been doing copious amounts of work just on the road accessible community alone. It would be good. Who does he have that he wants to promote? Who are other people that they want to share? Because in our culture, we really acknowledge our elders and we really appreciate them. And it takes a long time to get to being an elder, right? So that's kind of things that I want. And again, I'm just saying, for the memorial event. Like if we're going to make it, then exactly how Truth and Reconciliation Week was, but Slipknot doing a great job, like in putting those events together, it would need the same because we are dealing with people who have had a breakdown in the generations. We've had people who don't even know how to skin a hide and things like that. Like we want to make it so that it really is like, hey, we're making an event. We want you guys to know you're seen and we appreciate you. And it's, and again, that's for all of us, not just one side of the table. This is impacting our entire community.
So what I'm hearing is you're taking lead on that.
Yeah. So now I get volunteers.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I will always help, like, you know, I'm great at promotion, great at pulling people together with partnerships. You know, I don't have the cultural knowledge and I don't have that, so I don't wanna be a lead on that, but I'm certainly here 100% to support you.
Right?
You can call me, if you don't need me to do this, and I will do it. Yeah.
And I think that's what our communities and needs to hear too, right? Is exactly from this table, like reach out, we support you. It's not easy to have these conversations, but we need to have them.
Yes.
So, but I do think with the memorial event, we have a lot of like, it's
Yeah.
going to be amazing.
Yeah. And I think the key thing for it to be successful is to get the partnerships. I think if they get, you know, the cultural department, that's the, and the friendship center and various other, you know, even the high school, you know, and, you know.
Giving them enough notice,
Involves,
right?
Yeah, that everyone can be a part of it and everyone can contribute in some way. And
Yeah.
so we're not doing all the work, we're coordinating.
Yes.
Major epic event of healing, yeah.
And I think with our capacity at the Truth and Reconciliation Committee, we have an opportunity to do that. Bring it together, support, but have the lead be if we get an opportunity from Sioux or how they'd like to see, or even an organization within Sioux Lookout. Because one, our budget will be limited.
Yeah.
But drawing, like you said, drawing people together, that's what we're supposed to
Yeah.
do.
And there, we talked about this before, where other organizations have pots of money for this. So if everyone who has these pots of money all get together and contribute, like the money is out there, we just have to figure out where it is.
And the proposal, if we get to do.
Yeah.
proposals,
Yeah.
Right?
Good work, guys.
Darlene's gonna be so excited.
Okay, so next meeting is. This should be November, right?
November 19th.
Yeah. I was gonna say. What?
Okay.
I know, I'm enjoying fall.
Me too. All right, motion to adjourn meeting.
Okay, I'll move it this time.
And Joan. Perfect.
Yeah, I will say, there'll be a calendar invite sent out.
Yes, yes.
Because I always come up also.
Awesome.
Well, we're slowly chipping away and we're getting.
Yeah.
Is the thing off? Is the recording off? Just so, you know, for meeting minutes purposes.